voice.
Yeah, I'm hip. Okay, I'm talking with the Speaker of the House, Austin Knudsen. First full day of the special session. I understand that you had a chance to add some things to the agenda that were on your mind. What kind of things did you add?
We did. Well, Peter, the governor's call for the special session was incredibly narrow and under state law. When the governor calls a special session, he also gets to set the agenda, and he set it very narrowly. We can't go outside the scope of that agenda. What we can do is we can expand the scope of the special session, and that's what we did today. We expanded it. We wanted to be able to look at some more budget transfers. We wanted to be able to take a good hard look at the governor's cut list, and actually we put those in statute. We wanted to take a good hard look at the Shelby prison. That's one that's getting a lot of media attention, but frankly, we're in a budget crunch, according to the governor. So if that's the case, we have an opportunity to recollect $30 million of taxpayer dollars that has gone towards a down payment account, and that private prison has offered to give that back to us in exchange for a small contract extension. We think we owe it to the taxpayers in Montana to take a look at that, when the governor's saying, well, we don't want to do that, but we do want to raise taxes.
Sure. I understand, too, that you wanted to include the Transgender initiative. What was that all about?
Well, I mean, that was so the way it works, it's just like a regular floor session, and at that point, individual legislators can start bringing motions of their own to expand the scope of the special session. So while our leadership team had identified last week a series of expansions that we wanted to do, and we went collecting signatures for that. That particular issue was kind of a last-minute thing. It was brought by one particular legislator, and he happened to get the votes necessary to get it across the House and the Senate, and got the session expanded to deal with that. But what that one really comes down to is the fact that the Department of Health and Human Services had decided arbitrarily, without any direction from the legislature, to implement by rule, what is a very hot button issue, and one that could have some real fiscal impact to the state. So it has to do with, basically how you label your sex on your birth certificate. And while that may sound innocuous, it actually has pretty significant fiscal impact to the state. We got the requisite number of votes to expand the session to at least be able to talk about that. Whether any legislation, gets across the finish line remains to be seen.
Can I ask you a quick question about one thing that was on our talk show recently? Was we had Quentin Rhodes come in and talk. He's been there's a group of Missoula business owners that have asked him to be their legal counsel as they look into ways to try to lower property taxes for their commercial businesses. The commercial tax bills have come out, and a couple of businesses had over a 100% increase over the 2-year period. And when I contacted the Department of Revenue about that today, they said, well, our job is to set the values, and then it's the legislature's job to set policy as to what to do with those numbers, and as far as the amount of taxes that are coming in, because some of these are multi-family units like apartments or condos or whatever, and the rents are going through the roof because the property valuations have gone up so high.
Yeah, it's a problem we've seen across the state. I'm clear over on the eastern side of the state. I live on a farm and ranch, and our farm and ranch property taxes this last cycle went up 45%. It's a problem. You've got a Democrat-controlled Department of Revenue that's out assigning higher property tax values because you've got a state government that frankly has an insatiable need for funding, and so they're raising taxes, and we don't want to do that. We have a property tax mitigation bill every session to try to deal with that. But again, you're dealing with a Democratic governor who doesn't like property tax mitigation when the Republican legislature tries to mitigate those raising property taxes. And so that bill usually ends up vetoed.
Gotcha. All right, anything else you want us to know there, Austin?
Just that we are committed here this special session to getting out of here timely and not costing the taxpayers a bunch of money, and we are very dedicated to not raising taxes. I mean, that's my message. We want to get out of here without having raised taxes on Montanans.
Got it. Awesome.